Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Man, We're Too Old for This. I'm your host this week, CDL113, and with me today is
The Todd Father.
The experience of some called Jason.
And the token literally only going to be talking about aesthetics, Tarky.
And today we're going to be talking about the newest line of Joes that they have dropped for Hasbro and our favorite Joes from the past. We'll start off with the Todd Father.
Why you gotta start off with me? Start off with the people that don't know shit. Nah, I'm kidding. Well, like we were saying earlier, the rope. I have so far. I've got one figure. I got Snake Eyes when they dropped him, just because it's Snake Eyes. And I was like, well, I'm with Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, which they still haven't done like a basic classic Storm Shadow. And truthfully, I'm afraid that when they do, they're gonna make him so damn hard to get that I'll end up saying to hell with it. But the line looks great, and it's one of those things where it's like when I see them, I want them. Because I did when I saw Zartan out in the wild, and I was like, ooh, you can't find these. So I went on and grabbed him. So I have Zartan and Snake Eyes. And anytime I see or Duke, I'm always kind of like, but I'm trying to not get into them because I know how hard they are to get your hands on.
Yeah.
Also, I don't necessarily want to pay $22 a figure.
Yeah,
The joy of G.I. Joes were that they were cheap. If you're gonna have not just army builders like the Vipers and the baseline Cobra soldiers and all that. If you're gonna have army building stuff, on top of the fact that your good guy team itself is a literal army, yeah, they need to be cheaper than that.
Yeah. That's one of the, like you say, one of those complaints I have too. Because, when they dropped some of the Cobra Troopers, they were hard to get your hands on.
Yeah, they are tricky. One of our other buddies, Tony, he collects them. I found a Cobra Trooper and bought it for him like maybe 3 weeks ago. But it's one of those kind of things where you don't have to see them on the shelf. They're hard as hell. They are literally hard as hell to get. And like I said, they're high as shit.
Yeah.
Which is, it's gonna be one of those kind of things. That new roadblock, if I was to see him, I would probably get him because it looks kind of neat. Snake Eyes and Timber, maybe, just because I like Snake Eyes. But it's one of those kind of things where I'm always kind of fighting between, man, I like to have these, but my God, do I really want to get involved with this shit? Because high as hell and hard to find is kind of a killer.
Yeah.
And Hasbro has handled these things horribly.
Yeah.
They have, I see them kind of doing what they've done. Well, truthfully, what they do with Marvel Legends is you'll have something that you want, and they'll give you 2 or 3 different versions of it that ain't right before they finally do the version that you want. Because, like, this is the roadblock that they announced last week. That's the 4th one. Yeah, because you had the baseline one with the tuning fork. You had the Cobra Island one with the tuning fork. You had the re-release that's painted slightly different of the first one with the tuning fork, and now this one with the chain gun, and they still ain't got the damn gun right.
Yeah, because he had the Browning in the original character.
This one's painted more like the original release, but they still managed not to get it right. So coming down the line, they'll eventually do one with the Madus. So that'd be your 5th roadblock to go drop $20 on, and you stuck with, at that point, 4 others that ain't right.
Yeah. Jason?
Yeah.
Have you picked up any of the new Joes?
Now, I'm more or less out of toy collecting. The occasional Marvel or DC figure might drop, or it's, some character I was particularly looking for. But Joe's, I watched it as a kid. I liked it as a kid. There was maybe 3 Joes I knew by name. I was not into it as much as the rest of y'all. I was really there just for the ninjas.
That's what got a lot of folks into it, was the ninjas. I know people that I went to school with that, they had no interest in them whatsoever. They knew that, what the GI Joes were because their older brothers had a GI Joe, or their older sisters had the Barbie, and didn't really care to collect any of them. And then all of a sudden, hey man, have you seen the ninja? And that got them into it because back then, if you had ninjas in something, you had to watch it.
Yeah, ninjas were super popular in the 80s.
Yeah.
But that was in my case, hell, I was into it beforehand, but I'm old enough that I was little bitty when I had my cousins like big 12-inch GI Joes. That, my God, I wish I had some of them now because I had the ones with like the felt hair.
Yeah.
Oh God, them things are worth $1 million. But I was actually into Super Joe Commander, which was that in between thing that nobody seems to like remember or talk about.
Yeah.
That was in between your 12-inch GI Joes and Real American Hero. So when Real American Hero dropped, hell, I can remember because that was back in the days when like you would trade toys with your friends.
Yeah.
I let one of my friends borrow one of my Secret Wars figures or something, and I took his Snake Eyes home and was like playing with it. And hell, I was into that. Well, really, because hell, I like the cartoon.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, this dude that don't talk is cool. Wonder what the hell he is, and then it was like months later when you had the silent issue and you find out, oh, he's a ninja. Well, now he's really cool.
Yeah, yeah. I can remember it was right before my birthday and Christmas that one year when they dropped the first line of the 3.5-inch size, and I told my mom, I want these for some of them for my birthday and the rest of them for Christmas. I don't care if you get me anything else. I want my GI Joes. And for my birthday, I got the Snake Eyes, Rock and Roll, and Breaker. And for Christmas, we would always, I could open one gift on Christmas Eve from mom and dad, and then the rest of my stuff I got to open on Christmas Day. We went over to my grandmother's house for Christmas Eve, and from grandma, I got the motorcycle.
The van.
Yeah, no, the motorcycle was the like the one that's with Breaker now, where it's got the chain gun on the side. And I was like, "Oh, this is cool," because I finally had a vehicle. Well, from my, the Secret Santa gift from one of my cousins was Scarlet and Bazooka. So I was like, "Oh, great!" And I got more. And so for Christmas morning that year, I got the vamp and the laser gun, the laser cannon, and the rest of the individual, the series one, and I got Cobra Commander, and I got the two Cobra Troopers. And I was like, oh, I need, I only have such and such. And Dad's like, well, I bet Santa forgot to put something out. Let me go look. And, I knew what Santa was, but Dad went in the other room and he come back with a package. Oh, yeah, here you go. And it was the his tank. And I was like, oh, yeah, because I finally had some Joes could fight. And I was just happy, I was tickled to death that, I got all those. And then, like Todd said, Joe's, one of the fun things about Joe's was they were cheap. You could take a $20 bill and some change.
5 of them.
Yeah, and get like 4 or 5 of them of the individual figures. And when the series 2 dropped, it was one of those things, oh, I've got to have so and such as a blah, 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 blah. And I was around the grandma found out how many I could get for a $20 bill, and she slipped me my other grandma slipped me a $20 bill one day. Honey, you get you some more of them toy figures that you like so much. I'm, okay. And I was talking to, my parents, like, I need to go to the store, and they, well, you only got enough for a couple of them. I said, I know, but 20 until I started putting stuff in a basket. My dad's like, "How are you gonna pay for all those?" I said, "This." And they're like, "Where'd you get that 20?" I'm like, I did some chores for grandma the other day and she paid me." Uh-huh. And so, man,
You had to lie to your parents about your. My grandmother would give me money in my parents' face and dare them not to take me toy shopping. This is to buy that baby some toys.
But yes,
and my mom would go, "That money burn a hole in your pocket." No, let grandmama find out. Mama told me I should put your mama on the phone.
well, when we got home, my mom made a beeline for the phone and called my grandma, and she goes, "That boy swept my floor, so I didn't have to." So he did do some chores, which I did do. But man, mom was like, "You don't need to be doing that. It's my money. I'll do what I want with it." And so, if I'd go over there and do some chores, grandma would hand me a 20.
Yeah, that was the beauty. That was truthfully the beauty of G.I. Joes, even though hell, my collection as a kid was like trash. I had like I had Storm Shadow. I got Storm Shadow because he was a ninja, like my Secret Wars Wolverine. So that's why I had him. They got me Zartan for Christmas. And I don't know if I asked for him, but I think they got him for me because they liked it. So I had Zartan, Storm Shadow. I got Xandar and Zorana pretty much the same way as like stocking stuffers. They got me the hovercraft, the whale. I didn't have shit to put on it. I didn't have no good guys like at all. So it's like, and he came with Cutter.
Yeah.
Who didn't even have a weapon. So I put it together. It's like, what the hell do I do with it now? So I remember my mom took me to Richway to buy me some Joes to put on my hovercraft, and I found like like, damn them Joes. Oh, this wheel jack. So my mom was sick. God's untrue, she was sick by the time I got enough G.I. Joes to actually play with somebody, because my grandmother kept foster children, and Versailles had like a bunch of Joes. And I remember we went to a Walmart for something, and grandmother gave me a 20. And hell, I bought Roadblock in that light green. I bought Snake Eyes and Timber. I got Quick Kick. And that may have been it for that first, like for the first little clump of them that I got. And then like years later, I can remember going and getting like Cobra Commander in the armor, Destro in the gold, Road Pig, Budo, Jinx, and then my all-time favorite Joe, Nemesis Enforcer.
I can remember. I didn't get I never got Zartan. My cousin Adam got him, and believe it or not, I never got Storm Shadow. Adam got him, but he had more Cobra troopers than I did. So anytime we spent the night with each other, I'd bring my Joes over there, bring his Cobra troopers over to me or to my house, and we would fight with them. And I can remember my dad sitting there. I was watching the cartoon one day. He'd got home from work, and you see Wild Bill with his cowboy hat and his Texas drawl. He said, "They got a cowboy on this cartoon?" I said, "Oh yeah, that's Wild Bill. He flies the helicopter." Well, my birthday was coming up, and I didn't have that. And he was out with mom to buy me something for my birthday. He said, "Let's get him this," and they got me a helicopter Dragonfly with Wild Bill, just because it was the first cowboy that the team had. My dad wanted me to have a cowboy. But that was that was a series of toys that I really connected with, because I can remember having the several of the big tall Joes, and my dad just thought they were the coolest.
So I'm gonna do a quick timeout. This is gonna be a complete non sequitur. So you said the pilot's name was Wild Bill.
Yeah.
This explains a joke from a comic I've read that has nothing to do with G.I. Joe because one of the characters went to pilot school and their instructor was called Wild Bill. This explains a lot to me now as to why their pilot had a cowboy hat.
Yeah, he was.
I didn't realize it was a reference. Thank you for now telling me it was a reference.
You're welcome. He was. Ace was the pilot of their F-16, and Wild Bill was the main pilot of their helicopters. And he had a Texas accent. He carried a Colt 45, old school cowboy pistol, on his gear. And, even in the cartoons, he had that. And where everybody else had the laser pistols, if he pulled his and shot it, you could hear the bang. They'd never show him, like if he pulled it, they never showed him pointing at anybody. But you would, if anytime he fired it in the background, you would hear a bang. He was the only character you ever heard, that actually carried a real gun. Everybody else carried them laser pistols.
Your nerd is weak. If you want to be really nerdy, you'll realize that Ace popped up in Inhumanoids. And Wild Bill is actually the helicopter pilot. If you watch the early episodes of Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes where Buster, Wild Bill is the pilot of the damn helicopter.
Yep.
If you watch Gamma World, the helicopter that Hawkeye basically sabotages to save Hulk, Wild Bill is the pilot.
Yeah. Yeah, you had some crossover. Heck, you even had some crossover in the regular comic books that, supposedly, they weren't part of that universe. You've got some crossover. And
that's just it. And depending on if you're talking about if you're talking about G.I. Joe when they were Marvel, they were part of that universe because the Transformers were. Transformers crossed over with Spider-Man.
That was the weird thing. Is best I recall, Joe's crossed over with Transformers. Transformers crossed over with some of the Marvel heroes, but you never actually had Joe's crossover with the Marvel heroes.
Yeah. You might, if you saw somebody that was from the MCU in the Joes, idea. Or you just saw them in the background and they were never named.
Well, it's kind of hard to flat out have G.I. Joe in a world where you got S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, well,
because that was the original idea for Marvel. That was supposed to be like a Nick Fury.
Yeah.
So
you were supposed to have them as a offshoot of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Cobra was an offshoot of AIM.
Cobra was a offshoot of Hydra.
Oh, Hydra. Yeah. I knew what I was trying to say, but my brain said, no, this is the word you need to use.
Well, hell, AIM's.
Yeah.
It's all Hydra.
But that's why when the original salute, for them was both arms thrown up, But I can't remember who it was in Marvel's nixed that idea. But might have been Hasbro because they wanted the toy line and they didn't want to have to worry about making superheroes too. Or couldn't get
even though they'd have made a fortune doing it.
And let's be honest, by the time you got to Sergeant Slaughter and Serpentor, you had superheroes.
Yeah.
Oh, what did Sergeant Slaughter so bad?
Adam had the Sergeant Slaughter in his slaughter tank.
To me is super weird because I don't think you watched a lot of wrestling.
I didn't know he was a wrestler. I just thought he was a new G.I. Joe character that popped up. It was sometime later I found out, it was a professional wrestler.
Yeah, I knew that Sarge was a wrestler, but I loved him as a Joe more than I had wrestling.
Yeah.
Because like I said, they introduced him the same season that they introduced. In fact, it's the same 5-part show that introduced Serpentor. And that's when they were just flat super soldier.
Yeah, Cobra was bringing in a super soldier, so Joe's got one.
Well, you actually see Sarge first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they brought him in the same season. So
Yeah,
because he was the drill instructor for Jinx, Lieutenant Falcon.
Hell, he was the drill instructor for Joe's, period.
Yeah.
Because that's the way that 5-parter starts is G.I. Joe comes close to getting their ass beat by Cobra because they introduced the bats that season.
Yeah, they did.
Sergeant Slaughter comes in, basically saves them from that, and oh, hey, the Joes. So Sarge is putting them through their paces, and at the same time, you have the whole thing with you have the start of Mindbender having the dream of the Cobra Emperor. But yeah, Sarge came in. Sarge wasn't normal from jump.
Yeah.
And Serpentor, like I said, was just a flat out super soldier.
Yep. Got a lot of dead bodies. All the greatest warriors from through time.
Yep. All your greatest military leaders in history, including Dracula. So.
Yep. And Storm Shadow. They threw him in the mix.
They threw him in the mix in the book. In the book, he's part Storm Shadow. In the cartoon, he's not.
No. I was thinking he was.
No, because that was the whole thing.
That's right. He was
They were trying to put some of Sarge in him, and it didn't work because Cobra Commander basically sabotaged that one. And then the next time they let Sarge loose, and they shattered his DNA so they didn't get it. And it was
and
also
he was going to be a replacement for somebody that they were.
Because was it Attila the Hun? It was either Attila the Hun or Sun Tzu that they didn't get is the reason why. I think it was Sun Tzu. Was the reason why Serpentor didn't have like patience and was just kind of off.
It's why he could conquer but couldn't hold anything.
Right. He didn't have Sun Tzu's basically the benefit of him, so he made him kind of off.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, since we didn't get Sun Tzu, fuck it. We'll put Sergeant Slaughter in there. That Joker's damn super soldier himself.
Yeah.
So, on these toys, there's G.I. Joe Classified Series, and then Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins. I'm assuming that's a movie.
Yeah. What those are when you see them, they are the basically 6-inch Joes, like the Classifieds. But they're based on that new Snake Eyes movie that's coming out.
Which is why none of them are sold out.
Right. Because nobody cares.
Because I'll be honest, I'm looking at the Joe Origins Scarlet, and I'm looking up at the classified series Scarlet, and I'm going, this one from the movie looks kind of bad, and this one that's not from the movie has 3 separate knives. I kind of
want the movie looks like a Black Widow knockoff.
Yeah.
Well, and she's like the best of the three of the 3 figures in her. When I say line here, I mean line on the side, because you've got a Baroness that don't look right at all, and some chick that I looked at immediately went, "Who the crap is that supposed to be?"
Yeah.
You mean you don't like the Snake Eyes with the unmasked head? Come on.
Everybody's
line down.
Unmasked Snake Eyes.
The Snake Eyes, with the masked head on, doesn't look bad. I really got nothing negative to say about him other than the fact that he comes with an unmasked head. And the Storm Shadow, it's some variant of a white ninja that doesn't particularly look like Storm Shadow other than that.
Well, in the comic books, Storm Shadow is a blonde-haired white boy.
No, Snake Eyes is a blonde-haired white
boy.
Storm Shadow is Japanese.
Yeah, who did I say? Storm Shadow?
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Snake Eyes is a blonde-haired white boy, where Storm Shadow is Japanese. And the only time you ever see, it's kind of like Judge Dredd. You see him from the back, or you see him, from the side a little bit, but he's always got bandages on his face, somehow obscuring the major parts of his face. Because in the books, both of them and Stalker were a member of a advanced recon team in Vietnam. And, him and Snake Eyes were best friends. Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes were best friends, and Stalker was kind of like the higher rank NCO that, they just answered to. And when, Snake Eyes gets injured on one of their missions, it happens about the same time that his sister and mother and father are, on a trip to head to pick him up because they know they're on their last mission. He flies back home. He's met at the thing by a police officer military police officer, letting him know that they died. And, you know, it's one of those things of, I got no reason to stay in the States. And Storm Shadow has said, hey, come to Japan and be part of the family business, which, you know, he didn't know what the family business was. And when he gets there, he finds out, oh, they're ninjas.
Yeah, the trick to that is I don't too much, and you will find people that complain about that. I don't care so much that Snake Eyes ain't a blonde haired, blue eyed white boy. Cause you should never see what in the hell's in there.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
That's the fucking problem. It's not
cast Todd as Snake Eyes. That's fine, because Snake Eyes don't speak, and you don't see his flipping face.
Yeah,
if they
they did not screw up by making him Asian. They screwed up by making him seen.
Yeah, if it had been like in the books where we show him from the back,
you don't need to see Snake Eyes seen. That's if you want to do origins, that ain't the one you do an origins for. Because I don't want to know what the hell's in it.
Yeah.
The thing that made Snake Eyes cool was the fact that you didn't know what the fuck was in there. He didn't talk. You never saw him. You don't know all you knew is he was a badass.
Yeah.
Period.
In the 90s, 25 years ago or so, they did the Stallone Judge Dredd that I did not watch then, and I have not watched to this day. 20 or 25 years from now, I will be talking about this Snake Eyes movie the same way. They effed up Snake Eyes. I didn't watch it then. I ain't watched it now.
I did watch the Stallone one. Yeah. And yeah, I was sitting there going, why is his helmet off? Why is his helmet off at 90%? What the hell's wrong with these people? You had one job. Now the Carl Urban one, the one that didn't do as well, yeah, that's the one that got it right, because Urban take off shit.
Yeah, I love that.
When he takes that helmet off, he's in shadow.
Yeah.
You don't know what the hell's in there.
For the record, other than what his lower jaw looks like, but that's what you're supposed to know.
I've never read it.
That's the way it is in the books. You see his lower jaw, and they did that right. Well, that's like Snake Eyes. If you have in like one of the early issues, a soldier or somebody reaches up and grabs his mask and rips it, and they see his scarred up face, and they're like, ah! And then he wraps some cloth around his face to hide his face. And from the back, you see that he's a blonde-haired white boy. And you're like, well, what the fuck's wrong with his face? But, like I said, if the Asian guy, I got no problems with. It's the fact that they're showing his face and still talking.
Yep.
So, but, anybody got any last thoughts or words?
Why is Cobra Commander $50?
One of the versions, he comes with a throne, and it's the.
Are you talking about the PCS collectibles?
Yes,
that's some different line. I don't know what size
Yeah.
that thing even is.
Yeah,
that's maybe more of a statuette.
Oh yeah, now that I'm looking at it, it's a 9.5-inch statue.
But the rest of the guys further down, the basic Cobra Trooper, Zartan, Lady J, Flint, all those look pretty good.
Yeah, it's a great looking line. It's just hard as hell to get your hands on.
Yeah. If you're a big Marvel Legends fan, they fit in that exact scale, and but
what Star Wars Blacks.
Yeah. They're based well, and the trick is they are the fruition of a dream that when Hasbro basically got the Legends, if you can remember, like back in the early aughts. Everybody was customizing 6-inch Joes out of them.
Yep. I do like the fact that this Zartan comes with the same backpack and extra face.
And that was one of the reasons why I bought him. He does everything but turn blue. And
he doesn't turn blue in the sunlight?
Nah.
No. You do have a variant that is already blue, but he is, impossible to find.
But yeah, that was me. It was like, oh man, this Zartan looks so damn cool. Does it turn blue? No, it won't turn blue. Shit.
But, But out of the new batch, Taylor, what would you say is the best looking one for you?
Honestly, either Scarlet or the Roadblock with the odd tuning fork looking gun.
Starkey basically looks and says, which one of these bastards could I actually get?
Well, no, I looked and went, I know who Snake Eyes is, and I know who Roadblock is. because Roadblock is a character in another comic I watch or I read. Because one of the characters is delusional and his Roadblock toy talks to him. And gives him moral lessons.
Oh, that's fitting.
As long as it rhymes.
Jason,
Yes, he did.
out of the
rhyme.
new
Oh,
one,
let's see. On this page, well, I hate to give the movie figures any props. The Snake Eyes ain't bad. But I got to go with Zartan, I think. That is a nice Zartan.
Out of the stuff that's out right now, I'm still scheming on Destro. That Destro is just nice.
regular Destro or Pimp Destro?
There's only one Destro. That pimp crap, you can keep that shit. I ain't never liked him. I didn't like him when he was 3 3/4. I don't like him now.
Out of the new ones for me, it's either Duke or Snake Eyes. But that's just me.
But I'm waiting. I'm waiting on the Crimson Twins on Tomax and Zaymot. Them I'm probably getting. And if they ever screw up and do Nemesis Enforcer in 6-inch, yeah, I got it.
As I'm sitting here refreshing the page, the Snake Eyes and Timber popped up.
Wow. It popped up.
$41.99. They can keep that crap.
Oh yeah, this is the 10th, and it is almost
He don't even look as good as the movie Snake Eyes. And I ain't paying for another full figure for that flipping wolf.
Tricky is that's one of them things that that's I'll get that. If I get one, I'll get it when I see it, on yep, there it is. Yeah, they can have that shit. I can guarantee if you were to click on it right now, you
Well,
holy snarkies.
how much?
41. Hell no, I'm with Jason on that one. $41.99
per customer.
Yep.
Well,
Hey, you got a live reaction on that one. What the hell no?
No.
maybe Hasbro will hear this and lower the price.
Wait for them to do Timber as a single figure.
Yeah. Well, they did the child in the thing as a single. Well, that has been our show for this week. Any thoughts or comments? Leave them in the comments below. Jason, what all sites can they find the podcast on?
Well, they can find us on YouTube. They can contact us at the nerdattornal@gmail.com. Or excuse me, I gave the old address. Oh no, that was Gmail.
Yeah.
Okay. The website is thenerdattornal.com. You can search for us on your favorite podcatcher, and we should be on all the big ones.
Like the certainty.
iTunes or Apple Podcasts is still being a little weird, so I'm not sure if we're up on that one yet or not.
The important thing is like, share, subscribe. Especially, if you're on YouTube, it helps us out. We do have a store. So, we have everything from face masks, which are becoming obsolete, to t-shirts, cups, a surprising amount of handbags.
Still not hats.
Because we ain't sold enough of hats. Stop being negative.
It's a weird tiered thing Spring's got.
But it's the handbags are perfect size to walk around with your G.I. Joes in, legally or illegally. You can put a brick in there. It's real nice.
We here at the Nerd Tunnel do not recommend that you put bricks in handbags. It's just something we heard happens.
Unless you want to beat a mother. Works real well if you want to beat
Now
someone.
you know, and knowing is half the battle.
And on that note, we'll see you next week. Peace. We're out.